Anybody can, meanwhile, in between somebody want, they can on their video, no problem for me. Yeah. So very good morning, all of you. Again, we'll start today's second lecture. So in the last class, we have seen that uh, about the correlation, right? How correlation works, what is the meaning of the correlation. My sound is okay? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. So in the last class, we have seen that what is meant by correlation, what kind of correlation is, and how correlation will benefit us in context of research or in sense of doing some activities, or if you are interested to understand the relation between different variables, how correlation is important. Already we have studied all these things in last class. Also we have seen that how we can find this correlation. So already Carl and Pearson gave a good formula to us to understand the relation between two variables. Either the relation is a positive or a negative, or perfect positive or perfect negative, or what kind of relation. So by using the formula of Carl Pearson, we have seen that how to find the correlation between two variables, right? Then we'll see now what are the properties of this correlation. So today we are going to see all these points. Properties of the correlation coefficients, rank correlation. Based on that, we'll solve few examples. Then we'll switch on to regression and types of regression. Right. So today we are going to cover these portions. So already we have seen that correlation coefficients always lies between -1 to 1. Suppose you are solving the different examples. Okay, you have set of x data and you have supposed to be set of y data. So by using the formula, you are finding a correlation coefficient r, right? Suppose your answer is not getting in between this -1 to 1, means you have to understand that you have did or you have committed somewhere some mistakes, right? Means there is some mistake in your calculation, right? That is nothing but that will say that you are doing some wrong calculations. Always your r should be lies between -1 to 1, right? Already we have seen that if your r is equals to +1, then you can say that perfect positive correlation between these two variables. And if r is equals to goes to -1, you are saying that it is a perfect negative correlation, right? You can see some properties of r. R is independent of change of origin and scale. It doesn't matter either your values are in liters, either your values are in centimeter, always either your values are between weights. For example, we try to understand that is there relation between height of father and height of son, right? Right. So it doesn't matter the what scales we are going to measure. So it is a independent of scale, independent of origin, right? It is a pure number independent of units of measurements. So it doesn't matter the data is in which unit, right? The scale doesn't matter. So correlation coefficient is the geometric mean of two regression coefficients. Now we'll see that how these are the two regression coefficients. The correlation coefficients of x and y is symmetric. Either you find x and y or y and x, both are same, right? That doesn't matter because you are considering any set as an x set of data and any set is a y set of data, correct? So it is independent, means it is a symmetric with respect to x and y. So what are the limitations of this correlation coefficient? Correlation coefficient assumes linear relationship, means we have primary assumption that these relations are linear relations, right? Then and then we can do all these things, otherwise it is very difficult to do these things. That's why it is our first and basic assumption with respect to correlation is that this relationship is a linear relationship, right? Existence of correlation does not necessarily indicates cause and effect, right? So either there is a relation or not. It is not related with the cause. What are the cause? uh, Cold and cough. Suppose you have a data of cold, you have data of cough, right? And suppose we did the we try to find out the correlation. We did that and we have find R. It won't say that. It only say that there is a relation or not. What are the causes behind that? It won't explain, right? It is independent of cause, right? Existence of, yeah, that is there. Existence of correlation does not necessarily indicate the cause of the effect. Extreme atoms of the variables are being unduly operated on the correlation coefficients. So we will not consider what are the extreme coefficients are there. So how we can interpret? Once you have the data, you have used the supposed to be a Karl Pearson's formula, and then how we can interpret the conclusion, right, based on R. When the value of R is equals to 1, then there is a perfect positive relations between two variables. -1 negative relationship. If your R is equals to 0, you simply say that there is a no relationship between these two variables, right? If the correlation is either positive one or negative one, signifies that there is a high degree of correlation between two variables. If R is a near to closest to the point 1, 0.01 and or minus 0.01 or zero point 0.2 or 0.3, then we can say that there is no much correlation between these two variables, right? Rainfall, suppose I consider the rainfall and COVID situation, right? I'm taking a X data of rainfall in last week and COVID cases in another variable Y. Is there is a relation? No, right? Means by direct without doing any calculation, generally we can say that there is no rain. It is not like that COVID cases are increasing, that's why rainfall is increasing, or COVID increasing, rainfall decreasing. Is there is any relation? No. So in such a cases, you can say that there is a no correlation between such a two variables. Means you will get your value of R is equals to, you if you have to try to find out this rainfall data of last week and COVID patients in Tuljapur or Usmanabad district. So and you can do the calculations and manipulations, you will get some R, and surely your R will be very close to either 0 or 0.1 or 0.2, 0.3, something like that, or minus also make, right? It shows that there is a no relations between these two variables, right? So that is the interpretation of R, value of R. Based on R, how we can interpret, how we can make the comment on data. So now we know that how to find the correlation between two variables, but what we did that when your data is a quantitative data, right? Whenever your data is quantitative, it is very easy to find. X is a some quantity, some numbers, set of numbers. Y is also again set of numbers. So in that situation, it is very easy to find to that. But suppose if data is not in a form of numbers, right? It is in the form of in ranks, right? That's we called as a qualitative data. Means is the data is talking about some attributes. What are the attributes? Like color, beauty, intelligence, character, morality. If the data is talking about all these things, then how we can do that? Sorry. So in such a situation, how we can find the relations? Now that is our questions. So to answer this question, so another statisticians called as Edward Spearman in 1904, he came with some another formula how to deal this issue. right? So for that, he defined R is equals to like this. I will explain this and we'll go to the one example. So R is equals to 1 minus X into summation D square. Okay, it is taking a sum of all D and its squares, right? What is the R? R is the, as usual, your rank correlation coefficient. What is D square? D square is the sum of squares of differences between the pairs of ranks, right? It is the difference between pairs of the ranks. It will be clear when we will solve one example, and n is nothing but the total number of observations. So whenever you are dealing with qualitative data, so and if you are want to find their relations, so at that point of time you have to use the rank correlation method, or sometimes we call it as an Edward Spearman rank method, right? It is the both is the same. So what it will tell that, yeah, so there are another situation is there. Suppose you have set of observations, right? You have set of X and set of Y. Now we are dealing with the qualitative that we have fixed in our mind, but there are some numbers. Some numbers will be there where same number of observations will appear, right? So again, I can tell that how when we can use this actually rank correlation method, right? Suppose I have checked your papers in last year, statistics for social science first, and I give the marks, right? Then some students are not satisfied with these marks, right? So they will go revaluation, some will go rechecking, some will go for revaluations, some students will apply, isn't it? So in that cases, what will happen? Then another examiner will check all the papers, correct? Now I am a examiner one and another examiner two, right? So you will get the data marks of these 10 students, right? Examiner 1, examiner 2. Now we have to check that these two examiners have did the same kind of work, means uh, there is not much difference is there or not. If you want to check it, means the checking is uniformity is there is not, okay, means the mode of evaluation are same or not. If you want to check it, then you have to use this rank, okay. Also suppose there are different judges are there, right? If judge one is giving some results, right, about the different cases, and judge 2 is giving results of the some cases, we want to check that these two judges are giving the same type, means based on whatever the rules they are giving the same kind of judgments or not. In that case also you can use this method, right? So in that cases, there may be, because if you are having the suppose example as a number of students, so number of student having a same kind of rank, is it is a possible, right? Or two or more than two students may get the same kind of marks, right? So in that cases, how we can deal that, that is one of the observation is there. uh, there are maybe two or more atoms having equal values. In such a cases, the same rank is to be given. Suppose Shivram and Vibhuti is there. So in last year in statistics for social sciences, both having got the same mark, right? Means out of 100, suppose they both got a 75 marks, right? It is a possible, or there may be another person, right? Aditya is there, he is also getting the same marks. So in that cases, how we can tackle this situation? So for that, what we can do, we will give the same rank to both the persons, right? We will get suppose Shivram and Vibhuti having the same mark 75. So we'll suppose to be, we'll give the same kind of rank, whatever it may be, as per the procedure. If three are there, we'll take sum of 3 divided by 3, and that number we'll put as a rank. For example, it is given that if the value is repeated twice at suppose fifth rank, we are putting the rank who is very highest. For him, we will give a rank number 1. For second highest, we will give rank 2. Suppose in your class, 90 is the highest. 90 out of 100, 90 is highest. So he will secure a rank number 1, isn't it? Suppose 85 is second number. So he will get a second rank, like that. We will give the rank 1, 2, 3 according to their scores, right? And suppose fifth position, we observe that both are having the same kind of numbers, same kind of marks, right? Then what we can do for giving a rank of such students, we will take the average of that. Means actually, as per data, suppose we have the 10 student, out of 10 student, we give first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, like that. But we can observe that fifth number and sixth numbers are having same number of marks. So that's why what we did, we took the average of these two. Fifth plus sixth divided by 2 means 5.5. So now the student who in a fifth position and student who in a sixth positions will give a same kind of rank, that is called as a 5.5, right? Also there is another, he gave some addition. If the rank are tied means what? The same numbers, tie. We called generally the match is tied. Okay, means what? Both team have a same score. Here also the meaning is same. Both student or a number of students having a same score. If it is tied, then it is required to apply a correlation factor, which is nothing but m cube minus m upon 12. M means that number, how many times that particular score is repeated, that m. Okay, m cube minus m divided by 12. That is called as a correlation factor. Let us see one example first based on first things. In a marketing survey, the price of tea and coffee in a town on a quality was found as shown below. Could you find any relation between the tea and coffee prices? Right here you can see in this example there are price of tea and price of coffee, right? We have to check the quality, right? It is based on a quality, means we are dealing with now quality, right? So what we can do, so price of tea, right? So which is this number is highest among these. 1 minute. Okay. So among this, which number is highest now? 95, right? So 95 has a rank 1 because we are giving the rank based on the highest, right? So 95 is the highest price, so we are giving rank 1. What is the second? 90, so we are giving 2 as a 90. What is the third highest? 88, so we are giving rank as a 3. What is the fourth? 75, so we are giving 4. 70 is the next highest, so we are giving 5, right? And what is the next one? 60, so we are giving 6. What is the last? 50. Similarly, we can rank the prices of copies, right? So now you can see what is the highest in this coffee. Which number is highest? 150. So we give 1 is this, right? What is the second highest? 140. So let us give 2 as a rank for that. What is the third highest? 134. Let us give third as a third rank. What is the next one? 120. We give a 4 as that. Similarly, 5, 6 and 7. Now what we did? Prices of tea and we give the rank. Price of coffee, we give the ranks based on their number, highest number. So what we did, we took the differences of this. Okay, we took the differences of this. 3 minus 4 minus 1, 2 minus 3 minus 1, 1 minus 1 0, 5 minus 5 0, 6 minus 6, 4 minus 2 2, 7 minus 7 it is 0. So what we did, as per the requirement in formula, we want d square. So either this number will come positive or negative, doesn't matter, because anyhow we are going to make a square out of it, right? So either you will write here 1 or 2, doesn't matter. Means either you subtract 4 minus 3 or a 3 minus 4, doesn't matter, because here we are taking square of that, right? So it doesn't matter that. So then what we did, we did the squaring of each number and we took the sum of this. So what is sum? Sum is 6, right? Now we will use the formula. What is the formula? R is equals to 1 minus 6 summation d square upon n cube minus n, right? So 1 is as it is. So 6 is as it is. We know what is the summation d square. Summation d square is nothing but your 6, right? So we substitute that value of 6 here, and so after doing all the calculation of this, so 1 minus 36 upon 336, which is nothing but 1 minus 0.1071, and which is nothing but this. Means what? Your R is very close to 1, right? Your R is very close to 1. What does it mean? It shows that there is a in quality basis, T and high are going in the same directions. Means quality is maintained in both the cases, coffee and tea as well. Just 1 minute. So screen is visible? Hello?
No, sir.
No, no?
No.
1 minute. What happened to this? I have to share again. So this example is clear? Is this example is clear for everyone? Or there is any doubt is there? So simply what we are doing, we have the data X and some prices, right? So we are giving the rank according to their scores. Now it is visible, na? Screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
So there is a high relations between the quality of tea and quality of coffee. So we came with that. So now the next case, which I said before, that if there are 2 or more than 2 observations are tied, means same observations. So at that point of time, how we solve that example? That is the one more question. So that's why they gave one factor called as a correlation coefficient factor, that is nothing but m cube minus m upon 12. So you have to multiply with that. So what we can do now, R is equals to 1 minus 6 into summation d square plus m cube minus m upon 12 plus this plus this. So how many times this factor will come? How many times repetition is there in your score? This factor is with respect to your score. Suppose in your one set there are 2 different numbers are repeating in one case. So this will appear 2 times, and in second case, suppose there is only one number is repeated. So one more factor will add here, m cube minus m upon 12, right? Like that, this factor is depending upon your same score, how many times repeating, right? That is that many times this factor will be added in your formula, right? And again here same, n cube minus n is nothing but your number of observations. It is already, it is written here where m is the number of atoms whose ranks are common, right? Whose ranks are common. Now let us move, we'll see one example based on this. Rank correlation for tied observation. Following are the marks obtained by 10 students in two classes. There is a test 1 and test 2. We have to see he is performing in both the tests same or not, right? So that's why we'll find out by using a rank correlation factor. Okay, now you can see here there is a student 10 students are there, a b c d like that up to j. In test 1 these marks are given. Now you can observe in test 1 there is a one score which is repeated 3 times, isn't it? One score is repeated 3 times called as a 60. Already I made it a red color, right? Now we will not move to the second score, so let's concentrate on first test. So now the important is that we have to give the rank for each score as per our earlier things. How we can give that? As per our their scores, right? As per their score we will give the rank. Now what is the highest score in this test 1? It is a 75, right? So we give here first rank 1, right? Now what is the second one? Second one is 75. Okay, let's give second to that. Okay, what is the third one? Third one is 70. Okay, we give that. What is the fourth one? 68. After that 67, right? Up to we reached here 67. After that which number is that? 60, right? So we reached up to this 5. So this is 6 as per our thing. This should be 7, right? And this should be 8. These are the scores, right? Now but these 3 scores are same. So what I can do now? 6.
Sir, you missed.
Highest?
You missed 63.
I missed 63. Yeah, sorry. Okay, okay, 1 minute. Thank you. Thank you. So what we can do now? So what we can do now? We'll draw again the same things. So I will take yeah. So 63 is 6 number, correct? Now this score is 7. This is supposed to be 8, okay, and another is 9, right? So you have 3 scores having a same mark. Which are these? It is a 7, plus 8 and plus 9. What is the total of this? Divided by 3. So what is the total? Yes, somebody can respond me.
24. 24, sir.
24 divided
24.
by 3. It is 8.
Yes.
So what we can do now? So for these all, we will give the rank as 8. Is it clear? How to rank the tide observations, right? How we can rank the tide observation. Thank you. This is a good way to express it is clear or not. Now we did ranking for test 1. Similarly, we can do rank for test 2. So what is the highest here? 80 is the highest. 75 is the second. 70 is third. So after that 68 is fourth. After 68 there is a 65. So how many observations are there? 65. There are 2 observations are there. So it came on which number now? 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right. What is the average of 5 and 6? 5 plus 6 divided by 2. It is a 5.5. So what we did? So we gave the rank them to as a 5.5, 5.5. 6, 7 is done. Now we have to move to the next 8th position. So what is the 8th numbers? These are the 2 numbers. So these are the 2 different numbers, right? 60 and 60 having the on the same. So again what it came on 7th and 8th position. Is it correct? 7 plus 8 divided by 2 again you can do. So it is nothing but 8.5, 8.5. So now, no, 8th and 9th position.
Yes, sir. 8 and 9%, sir.
8 and
62, 7.
8 plus 9 divided by 2. So it is 8th position and 9th position. And now only one is remaining, that is 10th position. So in this way we did the ranking to both the score. So after that what we can do, we'll take the just the differences of these 2 ranks and we can write in this column D, right? So again after doing the differences, these numbers will appear. Now we'll squaring all these things and this is nothing but sum of all these, right? This is nothing but your sum of D square, right? This is nothing but sum of D square. Now if you can here see the number 60 in first repeated 3 times in test 1, correct? And 60 and 65 are repeated twice in a test 2. Means how many correlation factors should be there? Here is 1, 2 and 3 correlations factor we have to add in our formulas, right? So let us write formula for that. First I have to erase these things, then I think then we can move next, right? So again I have to erase this, sorry, right? So now screen is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you can see R is equals to 1 minus 6 into summation D square M cube minus M, because in test 1, one number is repeated 3 times. In test 2, 2 numbers are repeated twice. So that's why there are total 3 correlation factors will appear in your formulas. Suppose there are more, so again you will add here one more factor, right? So like that 6 into summation D square plus M cube minus M divided by 12 plus M cube minus M divided by 12 and like that, and total number of observations Q by minus that. So we'll simplify this. If 1 minus 6 into, so summation D square already we have calculated, that is nothing but 50, and this is one score repeated 3 times, right? In test 1, one number is repeated 3 times, that's why we made 3 cube, right? And in test 2, 60 and 65 repeated twice, so that's why 2 cube minus 2 divided by 12 plus 2 cube minus 2 divided by 12 and divided by here, throughout divided by total number of observations. There are 10 number of observations, so 10 cube minus 10. So again we'll simplify this, so you will get this. So there is a uniformity in the performance of the student in two tests. If this number will be like very less, like a 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, then you can say that Shivram is not putting his concentration in both the tests, right? That will be the meaning. Suppose I can take his score in first semester, second semester, third semester, and I am getting this R is to be a 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, then I can say that his performance is not good throughout all the semester, right? So that for this purposes we use this rank correlation methods. So let us move to the next slide. So these are the some examples I'm giving as an exercise. Okay, so here you have to use first. These are three examples which are the based on the rank correlation. Okay, these are the based on rank correlations. So you have to solve this. So this is a data 1 and data 2. Here you called examiner 1 and examiner 2, and they checked your transcripts, answer sheets, and they give the marks. If you want to see their relation between examiner 1 and 2 having gave the same kind of things, so if your R is coming close, you can say like that. If you are interested to see there is a relation between price and supply or not, right? So here prices are there and supply is there. If suppose your R is coming to -1, you can say that negative correlation between the price and supply. If it is positive, they can say that positive strong correlation between price and supply. Based on R, you can tell that, but you cannot say that this is what are the cause so that we got the less supply. We cannot say that what are the reasons to hike the price. So correlation coefficient will not explain all these things. So similarly, another example is here. So please try to solve this. You can do these examples. You can solve these examples in homework. Okay. So let us move to the different examples. It is based on the rank correlations, which we just now seen that. So these are the different methods are there. Here also you can see you have to use the Spearman's rank correlation method. You can see that here some scores are repeated. 22 is repeated. 31 is also repeated in first data. Anything is there? Repetition? I think no. In Y, 25 is there. 31 is there. Right. So again you have to use. So means in first how many numbers are repeated, how many observations are repeated, you have to see, and according to that you have to add the correlation factor in your formulas, and you have to solve the examples. So this is whole about the correlations, right? This is about the whole about the correlations. Now using a correlation we have to move forward. That is nothing but regression. Already I explained in last class, regression is nothing but the mathematical formulation of correlation. Simple. If you want to see, if you want to define in very simpler manner, then you can say that regression is nothing but mathematical formulation of correlation. Okay. After knowing the relation between the two variables, we may be interested in estimating, predicting the values of one variable given the value of the another, right? Once we understand that there is a relation between demand and supply, there is a relation between rainfall and yield. We understood that there is a relation between the COVID, increasing the number of COVID and economy, right? So now we are interested to predict, suppose this number or these days, number of days in the COVID will increase. So how much it will be effect on a COVID or livelihood of the people, how much it will affect on the education, right? Like that. So if you want to understand that, or if we want to predict all these things, then we have to understand, we have to study the regression, right? Or else how much rainfall is there and how much yield you will get it, right? And how much price, that is another third variable. If you want to see their relations, and if you
Is he stuck? Hello?
It was from my side.
Hmm? Hello?
Yeah, his video is stuck.
I can't hear him either.
Same. I
Sir,
can't hear him too.
something
I
wrong.
think
Okay, he's out of the meeting. Network issues, I guess.
it's in campus only, right? Sir, it's in campus.
He's not in the meeting anymore.
We can leave.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go, guys. Bye
How are you,
bye.
man? Don't leave, man.
Oh,
This is being recorded. Yes, sir is back. Sir, you're muted.
yeah, sorry,
Ah,
because of the light, so this
okay.
disturbance came. So let's start again with that. Okay, what I was telling that we understand their yes, who is talking here? Puran, you can see and you can unmute to them.
मैंने बनाई था
Okay, thank you. All right. So now I was telling that once we understand that what is the, if once we understand that what is the relation between these two variables, now we are interested to estimate, or we are interested to predict what is going to happen in the future, right? Or else I give the one example, like usually we used to get the news that in coming 24 hours, so you will get this much of rainfall, there is a possibility of getting cyclones, there is a possibility to get an earthquake, right? So all these things are based on the some data, and they are using a regression, right? Here purely they are using a regression. Now you can see that they will check the different temperature, or while in case of earthquake they will see the waves, right, and their frequencies. They will get some vibrations, and based on that vibrations they may say that so 3.8 Richter scale earthquake may possible in a within a 1 hour, within a 2 hour, within a 4 hour, within a week, like that, right? So all these things are based on the completely on regression, right? The variable predicts on the basis of other variable is called the dependent. So in that cases, there will be x and y. One will be dependent, another will be independent. As x increases, y, what is happening with y? Or y decreasing, what is happening with x? So one will be a dependent variable, one is independent variable. So in that sense, we can say that one is explained variable, and which is the independent, we call it as a predicting variable, right? So now, since last 3 months, we are in a lockdown positions. Suppose another 2 months lockdown will increase. how much it will affected on economy, how much it will affected on education, right? If they want to understand that, so that is nothing but a predicting variable. That is a predicted variable. So we want to understand what will happen in next 1 month or next 2 months, like that. You can know that so already because of lockdown, the whole transportation system is stopped, right? So if 10 days transportation will stop, suppose we will consider as a MSRTC, Maharashtra State Transport Corporation, right, which is the public transport. So what we can see, suppose in a 10 days, this much of income used to get to MSRTC, right? So suppose another 10 days or another 11 days, there will not be any transport, how much losses will occur, that we can predict by using the regressions. So that is the beauty of the regressions. So if you want to avoid the disaster in the future, or if you want to be prepare yourself for a future, or if you want to manage the things for a future, so in all such situations, regression will help you to do all these things. This is already one example which is already I explained in a last class. We know that the advertising and sales are correlated. We may find out expected amount of sale for a given advertising expenditure, or the required amount of expenditure for attaining a given amount of sale, right? This example I think I explained in last class, a very detailed way. I will not go in that. Or the relations between the two variables can be considered between this, say, like a rainfall and agriculture production, price of input and the overall cost of the product, consumer expenditure and dispensable income. So like you can consider any different variables and you can try to understand their relations and what will going to happen in a future, right? So that in that cases, the regression will help you. So there are different types of regression. So this is the definition. Regression is the measure of average relationship between the two or more variables in terms of the original units of the data. So there are simple and multiple regression is there, linear and non-linear and total and partial. Already I think I have explained this in a last class. What is the simple regression, what is the multiple regression, what is the linear, what is the non-linear. So we'll go one by one. The regression line. So there are different methods to study again regressions, right? One way is a scattered plot, another is the algebraic equations, right? Either you have to do by scattered plot, but whenever only two variables are there, it is very easy to do the scatter plot. But if there are multiple variables, your scatter plot will not be helped. So in that cases, are the algebraic equations, right? So there are different methods. So one of the method is called as the algebraic equations, right? So the regression lines is the line that best fits the data, such that the overall distance from the line to the points plotted on a graph is the smallest. In other words, a line used to minimize the square deviations of predictions is called the regression lines. Means what? So I will go through this. See, here the line is there and here your points are there. If your points are very close to this line, then you can say that there is a perfect correlation is there, and you can easily find the regression by using regression equations. So this is nothing but straight line, right? And this is the example of nonlinear relationships. So in such a cases, all these are based on the straight line, right? So we'll move to this. So based on data X and Y, you will get the two regression equations, not one, right? If your X is depend on Y, then you will write the regression equation like this: X is equals to A plus BY. Here, actually it should be a Y, okay? It is wrongly typed. x is equals to a plus by. Means here your x is a dependent variable on y and y is a independent variable, right? So your x is depend on y. That's why we called as for x on y. Second equation is y on x. Here your value y is depend on x. Here also mistake is there. Here it should be x. I will correct it. Okay. So these are the two regression equations. Now we have the x data, we have the y data. So in these two equations, these a and b are a constant which we are going to determine, right? They are not given. We have to find out them, right? How we can do that? So by solving simple equation, we can do that. So for x on y, suppose if we take the first example, x is equals to a plus by. So we will write the normal equations for this first equation. Normal equations means we are taking the sum of all the numbers, right? So summation of x into n into a. How this n appeared here? Because your a is a constant, right? It is a addition of n numbers. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 n times. That's why it is n a, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. If you type 10 times, if your data is 10, suppose number of observations are 10, so this number direct will come in 10, correct? If your number of observations are n, so because of that it is na, right? So b is as it is and it is a summation of y. So I will multiply the same equation with respect to y. So summation xy, a summation y plus b summation y square. Now if you can see here, these are the two simultaneous linear equations. You know the x, you know y, means you know summation x, you know summation y, right? So because you have the data x, you have the data y, right? There may be some numbers, right? It is very difficult to write by this way, right? So suppose you will have a set of data x, right? And you will have set of data y, sorry, right? So if you have set of data x, if you have set of data y, can you find summation x? Yes, I can find. Can I find summation y? Yes, I can do that. Can I find summation xy? Yes, I will add here one more column as x into y, correct? Can I find summation y square? Y is there, so I can find y square here, correct? Now if we can see from these two equations, I can find summation x, I can find summation y, I can find summation xy, I can find summation y square. So finally whatever it will come, here will be some numbers, right? These will be numbers, suppose k, suppose k1, right? Suppose k2. So all these will be some constant number, some constant numbers. So if I will put all the constant numbers, n is nothing but the total number of observations. So what is the unknown in these two equations? A and b, isn't it? What are the unknown in these two equations? A and b. Means straight away you will get simple equations like this. Simple equation like this: ax plus by is equals to some constant c. I will write here a1, b1, c1, a2x plus actually I did little different way. Actually, I have to do reverse, but I did same. Okay, let's. So what is this? These are the two simultaneous linear equation. Here, if you can see, the x and y are the unknowns. So we are interested to find the value of x and y. So how we can solve? We are having the different methods, right? Anybody can tell me how we can solve? Either multiply this number with this and multiply this number with this, right? And subtract from 1 to equation number 2. This is a usual method to get the x and y. This is one way. So what is the second way? You know the Cramer's rule. Yes, you know the Cramer's rule. So by using the Cramer's rule, you can find this unknown xy. So means what? Here unknown a and b. Once you will get unknown a and b, just put that unknown value of a and value of b in this equation. So what you will get? You will get your required equation. You will get first regression equation x on y, right? So similarly you can do for y on x, right? Similarly you can do for y on x. So value of y is there, then value of xy, all data is here. So just put on this, then you will get again different values of a and b. You will get a different values of a and b. Put these values of a and b in this equation, solve that, and you will get the value of a and b. Put these values of a and b in this equation, so you will get the second regression equation, right? So in this way, by using this method, we can get the two different regression equations. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, so now we'll move to this example. Right, now I'm not going to solve this example, just I will tell how to do that. See, so x is there, so you find summation x here. Summation x you can find here. Summation y you can find. What you want xy. So make another column of xy and find its summation here. Summation x and summation y. What you want in that formula? You want, I think, x square. You want y square. Do that and find its summation. Okay. After putting all these values in above equations, then you will get the two simultaneous linear equation which are unknowns in a and b. So you find, after putting this, you will get the values of a and b. Then you will get the first linear equation in x, regression equation in x on y, and you will get another regression equation y on x. So like that you can find the two regression equations. So this is the nothing but how to find the regression equations. So now I will stop here. If somebody have any doubts, they can ask me. Now they can on their videos and they can ask if anyone have the doubt about how to do all these calculations. Please, everyone can unmute their video and audio as well, and they can ask me if they have any question